Yeah. Andreas alcoholic. Uh, Shit, how do I start? I came into this program not knowing what to expect. Uh, I'm from East LA. Um, what can I say? Like I'm an alcoholic, so I didn't really feel like I was alcoholic at first. I didn't feel like I really even needed a rehab. But then I started noticing like a pattern because well, my dad, my mom, they're separated, but my mom had a stroke, uh, like probably like 2018, when I first went to the county jail for the first time. I caught a gun charge. Wasn't my gun, but you know how that goes. She what can I say? Second time I went to jail, my mom got breast cancer. When I came out, um, I was taking care of her, you know, like in between those two little times I went to the little bids or whatever you want to call it. I was taking care of my mom like religiously. The first time around, I was addicted to Percocets, so I was really like I don't know. A lot of the times when I was doing her little physical therapy, I was under the influence of Percocets, and I was happy go lucky. I was in a good mood. I wasn't really paying attention to the reality of the situation, I guess. Then when I went to jail, I remember for the second time, second gun charge, my gun. Um, some guy told me he was from the area, of course, you know, East Side. He told me that, damn, like you pop pills outside, and I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, wait, but how'd you know that? He's like, because you look like a pill popper. Like, bro, no offense. I was like, damn. I felt like Eminem or some shit. I was like, what? And then I came out and I don't know, like that stuck with me. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna stay out perks. It's not like it had a huge hold on me, but it did. Because when I was taking them, like that's all my life was about. You know, I could. That's honestly the only thing I could say I was addicted to, other than marijuana, which I started like smoking when I was 13. I know what my story's all about. So I'm a little nervous. I'm sorry. Um. So like, yeah, when my mom got breast cancer, my second bid, you know, it was one of the hardest experiences I've been through. I was in reception, so I had my one little visit, and like she hit me with that news, and I was like, wow, I came back. I don't care what they say. Like you're not supposed to cry. I cried. My bunkie next to me, he cried. It was just like because he knew my situation. I guess not to sound like all like pobrecito and shit, but my bad. I know I'm cussing. But what's it called? So when I went out that time, I was trying to do good, right? Like I was like, oh yeah, I'm never going back because like prison, you know, like some fool. I'm not like about that life. So I came out, you know, I was good with perks, but then like a year passed by. Fast forward a year, I started drinking, like because COVID happened. So I was stuck in my room. I was drinking a lot, trying to stay out, like partying and whatever. So I didn't want to catch COVID. I was uh, I was streaming too, like on live, just so I could. It's more incentive to stay inside. Um, but then I noticed that like when I started drinking, that I was becoming a different person. I was no longer like Mr. Brightside stuff. Like I wasn't. I was different. I would get irritable, like my mom, like when she wouldn't understand me. When she would like stutter over words or say words wrong, I would like correct her immediately. It was never like that before. And I would be in the room like, oh, like you want to do my exercise? You want to watch the movie with me? And I'd be like, nah, like not today, mom. Like, but I don't know. I was like her caretaker. And she put a roof over my head. That was the least I should have did. I mean, instead of like before doing physical therapy twice a day. I was doing it like once, maybe if that. And I don't know. Like I started blacking out a lot. Like I was getting like violent, not with her per se, but I would be like mentally abusive towards her. You know, like I would say things like that I would never say sober. Just blacked out though. Like, I remember one time I was on live and I had this like embarrassing like traumatic thing that happened. I was arguing with this one guy. I was drunk, blacked out, and it was like this whole thing. Like I punched the window and like I don't remember. I was kind of like in and out, but I remember like they were like punch it again. Like you know, like I never seen like how people could be so evil uh, until like the internet. And a bunch of shit happened that night. I can't really like really express like how much shit happened that night, but I know that it was bad. So like my mom fell. She was scared to ask me to use the restroom. She fell. And then the people on the internet, I was on live this whole time. People on the internet was like, oh, you pushed her. We seen it. No, I didn't. So like the internet's crazy. Like I never been cyberbullied before. They used to say, oh, it gets toxic, but like I never understood it. So anyway, I got sober after that. I got sober for 6 months, and I just kind of like I felt like I had to um, for my parents, um, and also to like prove to them that I'm not an alcoholic. Like to prove to myself that I'm not an alcoholic. I was running every day. Like I got a little 6 pack, 4 pack, whatever. It's like damn. Like I was proud of myself. I started going back streaming a little bit. Um, I don't know. Like after the 6 months, I was like, all right, that's my milestone. I kind of just started slowly drinking again. Fast forward like probably a year, just constantly drinking more and more. My friend got out after doing 5 years for carjacking, and this is my friend. Um, it's complicated, but this was my friend. Like we weren't really that close before he got in, but I never wrote him or nothing. And I kind of regretted that. I told him when he got out, like, I'm sorry for that. Like, man, like, sorry. I wrote you a couple letters. I just didn't have the balls to ask your mom for your information again. He was just like, oh, that's good. I can tell he was hurt by it. But then we started kicking it again, and he was like, before he got locked up, we would drink a lot too and do our little crimes or whatever. Uh, and we were drinking a lot, like times two what I was doing because I was just show them like, man, I could drink more than you, chug like, um, so like I don't know, like one day I was drinking like how I normally do. I was watching Netflix with my mom. I was passed out on the couch, and I woke up and she didn't wake me up or something. Like 30 minutes later, I don't know. I woke up really irritable and stuff, and I just started like, oh, so why didn't you wake me up? This stuff like she was obligated to or something, or like I don't know. I just felt like obligated, and like I started throwing food around. Um, I threw her little toilet that she has in her room down. She was like, "Look what you did." She was vividly upset, and then I punched her in the arm, probably like probably like once or twice. And she has this thing where she bruises easily. Like I don't know if you know fibromyalgia. So when the cops came, usually my dad calls the cops because like I can get like I said I can get abusive, but like mentally this time there was evidence, and this time my mom called, so they took it really seriously. Before they used to just laugh at my dad, you know, putting cops and stuff. I wish they would have took it seriously earlier. So I left the house when my mom called the cops, and I did some So I went to the liquor store, I got some more beer, but I knew something was happening. I knew something was gonna happen. Uh, I called my dad and the cops answered, and he was like, "Hey, where you at?" It's like local sheriff or whatever. I was like, "I'm not gonna tell you where I'm at." He was like, "Oh, just tell me where you're at." I'm like, "Nah, the Uber's on its way." Like he's like, "Just tell me where you're at, and I give you your word. I give you my word that I'm not gonna arrest you." So I gave him I was like, "All right, the Uber's coming. I'm already on my way to my friend's house. Like, you better hurry up." I told him where I'm at, but I think subconsciously I knew that I was guilty, so I told him where I was at. And I went to jail for elder abuse. And I remember in jail, I was just kind of like, I was being honest with people, and it was weird. I've never been in jail where even the cops treated me differently. Like, it took me like 4 days just to get a bed, like, to get bond, like my fingerprints. It took me like probably like more than a day. I just when I was sitting in right there in my glass house, I was kind of just like reflecting a lot. Called my mom, she was just crying and like, "Oh, I don't know. I didn't want you to get arrested, but it is what it is." And I was just thinking like, damn, like, I wanted to die. I feel like it would be better off if I was just dead. Like, not like I'm gonna kill myself, but like, oh, I don't give like I'll crash out. Yeah. I felt like a monster. So I got out though. I got bailed out. Like after like probably like 3 weeks and a half, I was just like, yeah, because my uncle, like, I guess my uncle told my dad that elder abuse is like something serious. Like it's like up there with like sexual charges and stuff, I guess. So I guess my dad was kind of scared for me. He bailed me out. So when I got like one of my last court date I had before, they were offering me a program, but they said I had to plead guilty to elder abuse, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Um, but then when I got out, my cousin came to this program. He recommended it to me uh, through he was like called Sherry. Sherry. He came here like in 2016 or something, and it helped him. He was like 40 years old. He's pretty messed up. So I was like, damn, if you could help him, his name's Peck. Like they call him Peck in the neck, like for a reason. Like he's just it's too much. But so I came here. I was like, man, like let me just come because they were offering it to me anyway. So I came. Fairground's been like an amazing experience. I don't feel like thanks to Jim. Shout out 19th Street. Thanks to Jim, Vic, my counselor, Jesse, John. Got like they all just made me feel like a person again, and I thank him for that. I thank Jim too. Like he really knows what he's doing. He told me something the other day. He was like, "Oh, like damn, like I was talking about myself, like oh, like I'm fucked up, like yeah, like I treat my mom bad and stuff." And after what happened, he's like, I probably would have did the same. Like we're only human, and I feel like I was genuine. Like when he said that, my counselor was looking at me like, yeah, he's trying to like sugarcoat it, but I really feel like that was genuine what he said. Like all BS aside, and that made me feel like human again. And just the experience has been so good. I've been writing. I realized when I wrote my letter, like my higher power letter, that I'm really a Christian. Like I grew up in a church. I had my like diaper changed in the church. I'm really a Christian, and I knew all the books of the Bible. I knew the Lord's Prayer. I knew all this, and I just forgot about it. Well, when I wrote the letter, I remembered like how good Jesus is, how beautiful He is, and how much I miss Him, and his hymns and everything that comes with it. So when I get out, I want to get baptized for the first time, and I want to continue like my mental health and stuff because yeah, I do have mental health issues too. I have like emotional disturbance and stuff. So when I get in my moods, I get in my moods. I can't leave the house. Like they say, people how they say, "Oh, like yeah, just leave the house when you get upset." I'm not capable of that. Just even when I smoke weed, I just get to thinking way more and more. So that's why I want to stop doing weed too. It's too strong now. But But yeah, like Fred Brown's just been an amazing experience. I can't say like how amazing you guys are. Real, just I feel like I just took everything. Like I took forever to write my letters. I took everything and, from the program and I used it to the best of my abilities. And I suggest you guys all do that. Put in pain, like because it's gonna help you. And I'm now 85 days sober. Yeah, like I would get my 90-day chip, but I don't want to get a dirty chip. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for letting me speak.